Welcome to Learn English Through Documentary, Female Empowerment Series. Today, we will learn about the story of Emily Abram, the first American ballerina to perform in the Novosibirsk Opera and Ballet Theater. In this video, you will learn about the following content. American ballerina Emily talked about her experience in learning ballet since she was young and expressed her passion for dancing. After introducing her family background and learning experience for ballet, Emily shared the process of how she made it to Russia and became a professional ballerina, including how she got the news about the audition and what she prepared. After being successfully accepted by Novosibirsk Opera and Ballet Theater, Emily could finally become a professional ballerina in Russia. She shared the daily life in Russia and the difficulties she encountered due to the pandemic. Emily enjoys the time on stage a lot. She is passionate about art and hopes to express all kinds of emotion through her performance. As a professional ballerina, Emily doesn't limit her future, and her path in ballet has infinite possibilities. In addition, you can learn the following vocabulary: encourage, audience, express, scam, rehearsal, platform, hire, character, recreate, and medal. You can also learn the following phrases: end up, work as, get off, look up to, because of. We've designed 4 questions for the content and cultural knowledge. Finally, there will be 10 questions to help you review what you learn. Before entering today's episode, we have the first question for you. Emily encountered her first real professional experience when she was 12. Is this statement true? Listen closely. The answer is in the video. Now let's begin our video.
I'm really passionate about dance because you can connect with so many people through dance, even recreationally. People, when they're happy or joyful, they go dancing. So it's just really something I feel like ingrained in people and in humans, and I just really found my passion for sharing it with others on the stage. My name is Emily Abram. I'm currently working at the Novosibirsk State Opera and Ballet Theater in Novosibirsk, Russia. I first started dancing when I was 3 years old in a very small recreational school. I went once a week, like a mother and child type of class. This is me at the American Ballet Theater summer camp with the school's director, who really took a liking to me and encouraged me and said I could become a professional. This was me at 12. I was the Snow Queen in my production of Nutcracker back home. This is my family. I'm one of 3 daughters. I'm the middle child, and this is me on the left. But we all look very similar. But my first real professional experience in the ballet world was about 10 years old. What really drew me to dancing is just in general being on the stage. I've always loved performing and being in the arts, but once I saw professional ballerinas, I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to just be on the stage, you know, giving joy back to the audience and expressing it through the art of dance. Going to ballet school in New York was really exciting for me. I really enjoyed being in a city and in a place where there was a lot of other artists and other people that were passionately pursuing their dreams.
Did you get the answer? The answer is false. In the video, Emily mentioned that her first experience in professional ballet was about 10 years old. We will teach you 2 tips to memorize vocabulary. The first one is to learn a word by breaking it down. Take encourage, for example. Encourage. The prefix "n" means to become, and is usually added in front of an adjective or a noun to turn the word into a verb. The root courage is a noun, and it means bravery. Combining both, you will get encourage, which means to make something courageous. Similarly, there are other words with the prefix "n" with the meaning of to become, such as endanger, which means to make something in danger, and enlarge, which means to make something larger. This is me at the American Ballet Theater summer camp with the school's director, who really took a liking to me and encouraged me so that I could become a professional. Let's take a look at another word, audience. The prefix "audi" means to hear, with an example such as the word audio is related to sound. The suffix "ens" is mostly seen at the end of a noun. Combining both, you will get audience, the people who listen to something. I want to just be on the stage, giving joy back to the audience and expressing it through the art of dance. The second one is to learn a word through the context. Take express, for example. We can learn a word in 3 steps. First, let's take a look at the complete sentence. I want to just be on the stage, giving joy back to the audience and expressing it through the art of dance. Next, understand the meaning of the former and the latter sentences. The former sentence is Emily wanted to be on the stage, and the latter is she wanted to give joy back to the audience and do something through dancing. Lastly, figure out the meaning through the context. We can infer that express means to present something. In the example, Emily wanted to present joy through dancing and give joy back to the audience. Before entering the second part, let's have a look at our question. After Emily received her first contract, how did her coach react? A. She was worried that Emily might get scammed. B. She encouraged Emily to fly to Russia right away. C. She wanted to accompany Emily to Russia. D. She hoped Emily to stay in America. Listen closely. The answer is in the video.
So how I ended up in Russia, working as a professional dancer here, I saw online there was an audition in St. Petersburg at the Mariinsky Theater because they were opening another sister theater in Vladivostok, which is on the far east of Russia, Primorsky stage of the Mariinsky Theater. And so I thought, wow, they're looking to hire about 20 dancers. That's a great chance because many companies only hire 1 or 2 a year. I was in another country, so I just sent my audition video that I had of a variation, some classwork, and a nice email. I asked, I'm really interested in working for the company. I'm willing to relocate to another country and another language. Here's my video. I can't make it to the audition because I don't have a visa, but if there's any other time, I'm interested. And a week later, I got an email back with a contract. It was kind of crazy because even my own coach, she really believed in me, but she was like, Emily, it doesn't work like that. Like, let me look at the email. I don't want you to get scammed or anything. And her husband is Russian. So he was able to, double check and ask, and it was a full contract. And so because of that amazing, kind of luck and timing, I was invited just to come straight to Russia.
Did you get the answer? The answer is A. She was worried that Emily might get scammed. After Emily received the contract, her coach was worried that she might get scammed, so she had her Russian husband check the contract. Again, we will demonstrate how we can infer the meaning of scam by using context clues. We can learn a word in 3 steps. First, let's take a look at the complete sentence. It was kind of crazy because even my own coach, she really believed in me. But she was like, Emily, it doesn't work like that. Like, let me look at the email. I don't want you to get scammed anything. And her husband is Russian. So he was able to double check and ask, and it was a full contract. Next, understand the meaning of the former and the latter sentences. The former sentence is Emily's coach did believe in her. but still wanted to look at the email. Because she didn't want Emily to be something. And the latter is Emily's coach had her Russian husband check the contract so that Emily wouldn't encounter anything worrying her. Lastly, figure out the meaning through the context. We can infer that scam means to cheat. There are 3 important phrases in this section. End up. I've prepared an audition video, some classwork, and a nice email, and ended up getting invited to work in Russia. Repeat after me. I've prepared an audition video, some classwork, and a nice email, and ended up getting invited to work in Russia. Work as. I worked as a professional ballerina in Russia, and we had many performances each week. Repeat after me. I worked as a professional ballerina in Russia, and we had many performances each week. Because of. First, have a look at these 3 examples. Because of luck and timing, I was invited to Russia. Because of the typhoon, our travel plans were canceled. This cave looks gorgeous because of the luminous mushrooms growing all over the place. Did you get it? What comes after because of is a noun or a gerund and is used to present cause and effect. However, it is different from what we've learned, which is used as a conjunction. Because that we've learned is commonly used as a subordinating conjunction and is used to present cause and effect. Following up is a complete sentence, for example, he didn't come to work because he is sick. However, because mentioned in this course is followed with of, in which it is no longer a conjunction, but rather a preposition. Because of is a preposition and can be followed with a noun or a gerund instead of a complete sentence, which must be noted. Let's have a look at the examples of because and because of. Because the typhoon was approaching, our travel plans were canceled. Because of the typhoon, our travel plans were canceled. This cave looks gorgeous because the luminous mushrooms are growing all over the place. This cave looks gorgeous because of the luminous mushrooms growing all over the place. Have you learned those? Before entering the 3rd part, let's have a look at our question. According to the video, how can we know that Russia values and appreciates ballet performance? A. In Russia, almost every person has his/her favorite ballerina. B. Russians bring their children to watch ballet performances every year. C. Russians know the struggles of being a ballerina. D. All of the above. Listen closely. The answer is in the video.
A day in a life for me in Russia is a little bit different. Now I'm in a company called the Novosibirsk State Opera and Ballet Theater, and we have a lot of shows a week. We have a minimum of 5 shows a week usually, and so my normal day is we wake up in the morning and we have a company class, which is kind of like a warm-up now that we're professionals. And then we have rehearsals till about 2 p.m. from 11 to 2. And then if you are dancing a soloist part, you'll have what they call soloist rehearsals here. So that will be from like 2 to 4. And then we have off until about 7 p.m. when the show is. So if I'm just dancing in the corps de ballet that night, I will get off a little earlier, can come home, have some lunch at 2:30. And then I go back to the theater at 5 to do makeup and hair, and we perform from 7 to 10, and then you commute home, you shower, you eat dinner, it's almost midnight, and you go to bed and you do it all again, and it's 6 days a week like that. pretty much the same every dancer when they get ready for a show. Everyone has their own rituals or traditions or how they like to get ready. I usually like to do makeup first, and then hair, and then warm up. So it's kind of a similar process, but we had rehearsals before the show. That usually happens in most theaters, last minute getting ready for the show. Most American and European companies, they work only about like 9 months out of the year, and they have the whole summer off, and they take about 2 or 3 weeks to prepare one ballet for the month, where our company, it's 5 different ballets, so you're always changing, always doing something new. But it was such a great chance for me to become a stronger dancer, become more toned in my skills, and learn so much more than I could in a single season in a company back home. So the shoes start out like this, and every ballerina has to prepare their own shoes. So you have to sew on elastic and ribbons, and it's a very personal thing that every dancer does differently. Some people like to darn, it's called, darn the top of the shoes, which gives you some more support on the platform. And then these are an older pair of shoes, as you can see, but I have the ribbon and the elastic on here all ready to go, and it's kind of a dancer saying when your shoes die, it means the glue or the wood has broken down and they're no longer supportive enough for your foot to stand on. So if they're too old, we call the shoes dead. They're dead shoes. I've been really lucky, as I was the first American to ever be hired in the Novosibirsk State Opera and Ballet Theater, and they've actually trusted me enough to give me some solos, and that has been really amazing because, you know, ballet is so dear to their culture and their tradition, which is a really big difference too between America and Russia. You know, you ask the average American, have you seen a ballet? They'll say, that's a career, that's a job. Where in Russia, everyone from, you know, you ask someone who works in the grocery store to a taxi driver, and they have their favorite ballerinas, and they go with their kids to see the shows every year. So it's just a different culture, appreciation and love for the arts, which for me has been so amazing to be in a place that appreciates what you do and really looks up to the ballerinas, and they know, wow, it's a really hard job. So that has been such a warm feeling, and to be the first American in the Novosibirsk State Opera and Ballet Theater, I felt also a little bit of pressure because I felt like I was representing Americans and our work ethic and, you know, stereotypes, and so it was amazing to be accepted by the Russian dancers. COVID has affected the experience for me living in Russia, just how it's affected, you know, everyone all over the world. Our theater was closed for about 7 or 8 months. It was very difficult for me at first, being in quarantine, being in another country, and especially as a dancer and an artist, to not be able to train or to work is very hard physically on the body, to not be able to stay in shape or stay in form. Of course, we can do some home stretching and exercises, but it's not the same as jumping and doing pirouettes and stuff like that. So that was definitely very difficult.
Did you get the answer? The answer is D, all of the above. In the video, Emily mentioned that it was Russian culture and tradition to value ballet. From clerks in general shops to taxi drivers, every person has his/her own favorite ballet dancer and brings his/her children to watch ballet performances. In addition, she mentioned that Russians value ballet dancers and know it is a tough profession. Now, let's review important vocabulary of this section. Platform. Some people like to darn the top of the shoes, which provides more support on the platform. Again, we will demonstrate how we can infer the meaning of rehearsal by using context clues. We can learn a word in 3 steps. First, let's take a look at the complete sentence. We had rehearsals before the show that usually happens in most theaters last minute, getting ready for the show. Next, understand the meaning of the former and the latter sentences. The former sentence is what Emily does something during the last minute before the show. And the latter is they do this to get ready for the show. Lastly, figure out the meaning through the context. We can infer that rehearsal is the practice before the formal performance. Let's take a look at another word. I was the first American to ever be hired in the Novosibirsk State Opera and Ballet Theater. and they've actually trusted me enough to give me some solos. Next, understand the meaning of the former and the latter sentences. The former sentence is, Emily was the first American to be something by the Novosibirsk State Opera and Ballet Theater. And the latter one is, the people in the theater trusted her and gave her opportunities to perform solos. Lastly, figure out the meaning through the context. We can infer that hire means to pay somebody to do some job. There are two important phrases in this section. Get off.
As for today, we only need to perform on stage at night, right?
Yes.
Then we can get off early and have lunch at home.
Repeat after me. Then we can get off early and have lunch at home. Look up to. First, have a look at these three examples. It's a different culture with appreciation and love for the arts. For me, it has been amazing to be in a place that appreciates what you do and looks up to the ballerinas. The teacher teaches in line with the student's ability and leads by example, so he is looked up to by many students. Devin has looked up to his father since he was little and has thought of him as a role model. Did you get it? Look up to means to appreciate or to respect, and is usually used upon those having higher status, being more experienced, or being elderly. This is the final question. What is the main theme of this documentary? A. To give a description of Emily's struggle as a dancer in Russia. B. To teach others how to become a dancer in Russia. C. To express Emily's passion for ballet, her life in Russia, and her expectations for the future. D. To give an explanation of the impact caused by COVID-19. Listen closely. The answer is in the video.
I've always loved the stage. It's such an amazing experience because you almost get a chance to escape your own reality and be another character, but at the same time you're drawing so much of yourself. You're leaving your heart, your emotions, and your soul onto the stage and sharing with the audience. So if you have a very happy dance, you pull from your own memories and your own experiences and you give that to the audience. If you're playing a character, you know, that has heartbreak or something like that, you pull that out of yourself and give it to the audience. It's kind of, it's almost a really big rush. You have all these nerves and anxiety beforehand, but then when you step onto the stage, you realize that it's kind of cool. The magic of, I would say, live theater is something that can't really be recreated. One performance with the audience is like sharing a moment, which is just a magical experience for the dancer and I think also for the audience. My passion for dance is it's really been one of the things that I've always loved that has really been there for me. Growing up, it was a way I could express myself. If I couldn't fully express myself in words, I was able to really show how I was feeling. And I was really passionate about something that you never kind of reached an end goal. There wasn't like a finish line or a medal. There was never perfection. You could always continue to improve or grow or find something new in a character. So what I really hope to do in the future with dance is hopefully eventually I would love to open my own school or open my own business and be able to share what I've learned with some dancers, and maybe eventually I would love to dance back home for an American company at one point in my career to share with my family and friends all that I've learned in Russia. But I also really do love Russia, so if I keep growing here in the company, I may want to see where that takes me.
Did you get the answer? The answer is C. To express Emily's passion for ballet, her life in Russia, and her expectations for the future. Do you remember? In the previous sections, Emily expressed her passion for ballet, shared her life as a ballerina in Russia, and finally hoped she could establish a school or a business to share what she has learned with other ballerinas, return to her homeland to dance for an American company, or stay in Russia, etc. Now, let's review important vocabulary of this section. Medal. I was passionate about something without an end goal, such as a finish line or a medal. Again, we will demonstrate how we can infer the meaning of character by using context clues. We can learn a word in 3 steps. First, let's take a look at the complete sentence. It's such an amazing experience because you almost get a chance to escape your own reality and be another character. Next, understand the meaning of the former and the latter sentences. The former sentence is, "It's such an amazing experience." And the latter is, "It allows one to escape reality and become another something." Lastly, figure out the meaning through the context. We can infer that character means a role. Next, we will demonstrate how we can infer the meaning of recreate by breaking it down. Recreate. The prefix re means again, and the root create is a verb, meaning to make or to present. Combining both, you will get recreate, which means to present once again. The magic of, I would say, live theater is something that can't really be recreated. After watching the video and learning the vocabulary and phrases, let's review and deepen your memory. The content of this video is to introduce Emily Abram, an American ballerina performing in Novosibirsk Opera and Ballet Theater. She shared her experience of learning ballet since she was young and what drives her to become passionate about ballet. Then, Emily also shared how she ended up in Russia to become a professional ballerina, including her preparation for her audition video and writing an email. After being in Russia, Emily's everyday life is a bit different. She talked about her daily life in Russia, such as routines, dancing courses, rehearsals, and performances. She also stated the cultural differences between how Russians and Americans treat ballet performances that she had observed. In Russia, almost everyone has her own favorite ballerina and deems ballet as a treasured culture. Eventually, Emily shared her feelings of performing on stage and her hopes for the future. The important words in the video are encourage, audience, express, scam, rehearsal, platform, hire, character, recreate, and medal. Important phrases are end up, work as, get off, look up to, because of. Next on, we are broadening your vocabulary. Let's learn vocabulary about ballet. Point shoes, ribbon, elastic, tutu, bun, hairband, dance studio. Have you learned those? After finishing the video, we have compiled cultural knowledge for you. Emily is the first American ballerina working for Novosibirsk Opera and Ballet Theater in Russia. We are going to introduce an opposite counterpart of her, the well-known Russian ballet dancer, Mikhail Baryshnikov. He has learned ballet since he was young, and in 1966 he entered Kirov Theater, which is the predecessor of the Mariinsky Theater. The Russian ballet training and his high self-requirement made him known as the most perfect dancer. However, the Soviets' conservatism and authoritarianism led him to flee to America in pursuit of a world that is free and tolerant toward all kinds of culture. Eventually, he successfully joined the renowned American Ballet Theater. In addition to being well known in the ballet world, Baryshnikov also has multiple identities. He is also an actor, choreographer, and the art director of American Ballet Theater. It's worth mentioning that he was the protagonist in White Nights, 1985, starring as a ballet dancer who fled the Soviet to pursue freedom. Isn't this similar to Baryshnikov's history? Today's course has come to an end. Hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next time.